NFL football. Produced in association with Budweiser.
I don't care what you want to do. Smile, man. You want to be scared. Is this wild? Time to get back on the top.
Let's get tuned up.
Let's play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Last week, the Miami Dolphins stampeded the Buffalo Bills. And the Philadelphia Eagles pounded the Dallas Cowboys. Can the Falcons or the Chiefs stop them today? Hello everyone and a warm welcome live from our studios here in Atlanta, Georgia. Both the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles had excellent wins last week to extend their winning run, and it's them that set the pace for week 6 of the season. Tonight in our main game, the Dolphins will try to defend their perfect record against the troublesome Atlanta Falcons. That's at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The other unbeaten team, the Philadelphia Eagles, are playing at Arrowhead Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Gary, you're going to be following that game a little bit closer.
I will.
A lot of people think that's going to be an easy win for the Eagles. Do you agree?
Not at all. I think the big back running attack of the Chiefs against the run defence of the Eagles, which is #1 in the league, you're going to be able to measure this game with a seismograph. And I think if those two cancel each other out, then the deciding factor may be the quarterbacks.
And next, a lot of people would say goes to Cunningham and the Philadelphia Eagles, but if the O-line of the Kansas City Chiefs protects Craig, he's a man that scored a lot of touchdowns in his career. Back in our main game, the Dolphins stunned everyone last week with their powerful all-round performance against the Buffalo Bills. And head coach Don Shula wants to keep that momentum going against the Falcons today. In the past, Jerry Glanville's aggressive defences have enjoyed considerable success against the Dolphins. And interestingly, the Falcons are the last NFC team to beat them in Miami. A big boost for Glanville came last night in the Baseball Conference Championships. Atlanta Brave and Falcon Deion Sanders left Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, after the Braves went 3-1 up in the series. A limousine was waiting to take Deion to a private Lear jet, which left Pittsburgh after 1:30 a.m. There's considerable confusion in Atlanta between the baseballing Braves and the footballing Falcons as to who has first call on Deion's services. Media speculation is hinting that Sanders' footwear sponsors, who are paying Sanders either $1 million to play in both sports or a mere $100,000 if he only plays in one, have provided the plane to ensure Deion can play today. If he does, then he'll be the first player to play in both sports on the same day. The flight from Pittsburgh is over 1,000 miles, and the jet landed in Miami around 4 o'clock this morning. After all the hype, Deion had a few hours to either sleep or study the Falcons' game plan before joining his second set of teammates in Joe Robbie Stadium for the warm-up for today's game. That's some journey to work, and just to top it, he's due to play baseball again in Pittsburgh tonight. You know one thing, Deion's going to be one tired puppy after today, and I'm sure during his fleeting visit he won't have much seen the city that he's been going through, and that now is one of the biggest playgrounds in America.
To many of the people who live here, Miami is the capital of America, Central America. With over 1 million Spanish speakers in the city, mostly Cuban, English is officially the minority language here. And it's not just their language that Cubans have brought with them. When it comes to cigars, little Havana likes to roll its own. The big sporting attraction, Jai Alai, is another import. Although, of course, when it comes to the best America has to offer, the Latin community does take an interest.
Marino, se entrega Hicks, Hicks por el lado izquierdo, tira por donde entrar, entra Nelson, touchdown, Miami, touchdown, Miami.
To most people, though, Miami means Miami Beach, a music video set of fashionably old hotels and fashionably new bars. Down here, the major sports are working out and showing off. Whatever it used to be, Miami's main vice in the body-conscious 90s is vanity.
Touchdown-o. Love it. I also know a lot of you have been on holiday in Miami, but today's game will be no vacation for the Falcons as the Dolphins ride their wave of success into Joe Robbie Stadium. But I can assure you, Atlanta will do whatever they can to wipe them out. If man was meant to fly, he would have had wings. Instead, he has wide receivers like Miami's number 83, Mark Clayton, and number 85, Mark Duper. It's Falcons' Tim McKay's job to stop them.
Those guys are very capable, very talented, and will embarrass you. And every time I go out and play on Sunday, I'm in that mode that this guy can embarrass me, this guy can take money out of my pocket, and this guy can potentially get me fired. So with that in mind, I go out and I play hard, and I try to play well.
No, I'm just going to go out there and do mine. And if it costs him his, then so be it. No, Tim's a good guy, and I don't think that I could cost him his job. I can make it a little hectic out there for him, and I'm planning on having a good game.
The Falcons can also fly with their own brand of talented wide receivers, led by the confident Andre Rison. Miami defender Louis Oliver knows that they are fast.
He's going to present some problems, you know, as well as the other receivers. They all can run. It's like a world-class track team over there with good hands. So, I mean, we got our work cut out for us in the secondary.
It's going to be probably a run and shoot game. You know, a lot of points scored. Hopefully we'll score the most. They got a great team. They're on the road right now, but I'm predicting an upset.
His prediction about this week, after Sunday, then we'll show him why he shouldn't go into the predicting industry, because his prediction won't nobody even take him.
One thing's for sure, though, you can't take Andre Rison's predictions or playing abilities lightly. But Miami weren't intimidated by Buffalo last week, and I'm not sure that they're intimidated by the Falcons. But Glanville has surprised Schuler before and expects to do the same thing today. So without further ado, let's go over to Joe Robbie Stadium for the opening kickoff. Our match commentators are Jim Nantz and Hank Stram. Enjoy.
You have to wonder if this is not the kind of stage today where Deion will come up really big.
Is he into the game or what?
Stoyanovich 5 yards deep, and Sanders will let the Falcons bring it out to the 20. Touchback.
Well, the Falcons' first drive ended when Michael Haynes failed to hang on to this Chris Miller pass, and Dan Marino took over on his own 24-yard line.
Clayton Duper, the receivers. Play action on first down, and Marino, receiver. Duper never looked back until it sailed over his head. So, 2nd and 10 for Miami, facing a defense ranked dead last in the NFL, 28th in the league. Gann, Gardner, and Green on the line. Tippins and Solomon, the two Jessies inside. Tuggle is the other one. And the secondary, former Dolphin Tim McKay. Bruce Pickens starts ahead of Sanders since Deion did not practice this week. And Louis Riddick gets his first NFL start at strong safety. He'll be facing the likes of Keith Jackson today. Tony Martin, Keith Jackson in, and so is Bobby Humphrey. And here is Humphrey on the handoff. Good move to pick up about 7. Wrestled down by Jeff Donaldson. 3rd and 4. Here comes the blitz. Pickens is picked off. And on the rebound, Duper has it for the first. It bounced right off the fingertips of Clayton. And Duper for 8 yards and a first down.
Watch Duper now coming down the field. He's the insides on the slot. There it is. It goes right through his hand. Right through in his head.
You know, in the old days, that was not illegal. That was not legal. You had to have a defensive player touch it in between. I remember a great controversy at a Super Bowl in Miami.
Yeah, you're right.
John Mackey caught a touchdown, and people wondered, did it graze the fingertips of Mel Renfro of the Cowboys? They never knew the answer, but that went for 6. First down carry, and it's Mark Higgs back into the game for about 1. Miami has really had a hard time, Hank, establishing any kind of running attack for years. But Mark Higgs has worked hard for him now for the last year and a half. 2nd and 9. New linemen in for Atlanta, Torrey Epps and Chuck Smith on the defensive front. 5-step drop. Good time for Dan Marino, and he finds Higgs to the 48-yard line. Darian Connor on the tackle. Set up 3rd and short. Good protection here, Hank.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Look at the protection. It's excellent. Good protection. See, then he looks to his right, and then he finds him right in the middle, right almost on the hash mark, maintains good balance, and makes an outstanding catch.
3rd and 1. Higgs lined up in the I. The fullback is Page. 3 tight ends in for the Dolphins. Will run it left. And in traffic, Higgs, I believe, finds the room for the first down. Yes, indeed. First down, Miami.
And I think in critical situations, we saw it happen there. They're going to run to their left. They have 2 great tackle and guard on the left side, Webb and Sims, both of whom weigh in the neighborhood of 300 pounds. They get a great push, and they make the necessary yardage for the first down. But again, the Atlanta Falcon defensive line is not large. It's very quick and very fast, but not large.
There's big Richmond Webb on that left side. Hank talked about him. He made the Pro Bowl his first 2 years in the league. 7th play of the drive for Miami. 5:50 to go in the first. No score. First down with Bobby Humphrey in the backfield. On the shotgun, Marino flings it just past Keith Jackson at the 35.
That time they had a 3-man line. Everybody else dropping back. And Jackson was open. Dan just overshot him.
Don Shula, 30th year as a coach in the NFL. 23 of them with Miami. There's his record against the Falcons. 11-1. Only lost to them back in '86. Only Curly Lambeau and George Halas have coached longer in the league in history than Don Shula, 30 years. 2nd down and 10.
Look at the room on the right side.
Humphrey comes out of the backfield. Marino spots him at the 45, and they say incomplete.
They're playing very soft on the outside, very deep. And Jim, and as a result, why I think that probably as we go along, Marino's going to throw more balls to the outside because there's a big cushion, meaning that the defensive back is about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
A day like today, you want to sit right next to that fan when you're out of the game.
You'd rather sit on the ice bucket. That's better.
3rd and 10 from midfield.
Here they come.
There they come, but Marino gets rid of it in time for the first down at the 40. Spin move by Clayton, back to the inside, and down at the 25. Mark Clayton. "25 yards on this one."
Yeah, he's the inside receiver, Mark Clayton, number 83. Makes the catch and spins to the inside, a missed tackle, gets right down the middle of the field. But the key thing was Marino, how he was able to get rid of that football with all the people around him, and the pressure he had was incredible.
He was able to spin away from Brian Mitchell, so the Dolphins driving right away. And on first down, Marino, left side to Dufer. He breaks away from a tackler, Jesse Tuggle, and is tackled at the 14. It's another Miami first down.
And Marino said yesterday they're going to be patient. They know they're going to play a lot of zone probably. Here's a replay of what we have just seen. Epps, number 74, is trying to get a rush up the middle. But he still had plenty of time to throw the ball, and look at the catch. And a good running after the reception. Mark Duper.
Duper and Clayton with big catches, setting them up at the 14 with a first down. Tony Martin is in now. So is Fred Banks. But it's Higgs with the carry inside the 10. Touchdown, Miami. Touchdown, untouched from 14 yards. That matches the longest rushing play of the season for the Dolphins. 14 yards and a touchdown for Higgs, his third of the year.
And what a hole. What a beautiful job. It looked like Keith Sims pulled on a play and got a great block, number 69. It was a counter play, hit the fullback up the middle to slow down the pursuit.
Stoyanovich out of the Mitchell hold, and it's 7-0 Miami. There it is, Hank. Higgs.
You see it.
On the ensuing kickoff, Deion Sanders dropped the ball in the end zone and stayed there. So the drive began on the 20-yard line. We rejoined the game with Chris Miller on the 40-yard line.
2:15 to go in the first quarter. Miami 7-0. The back is Jones. He gets the carry and easily gets the first down to the 38. Heath Jones with Jamie Dukes back into the game. It was a slight groin pull, was the report from the Falcons sidelines. Dukes had to miss a couple of snaps on the first possession, but back in there and helping clear the way for Jones to pick up the first down.
It makes a big difference when Jamie Dukes is playing center. He's got a low center of gravity. He weighs about 290 pounds. They got a good push there from Hoover, Dukes, and Fraley on that last blast right up the middle.
7-year center from Florida State. He was in guard for Bobby Bowden.
Look at all the room on the left side. Throw the ball. Look at that. Look at that left side, how open it is.
Let's see if Miller spots it. He's looking that way on first down. And Drew Hill to the 33.
That's the place to throw the ball. The defensive back was very deep, and so you had a lot of room in front of him. And they take advantage of it, make yardage on the play.
Drew Hill turned 36 this past Monday. He says this will be his last year. He'll retire after 13 seasons, and he's moving up on the all-time list of receivers and catches. That one he just tied Wes Chandler for 13th on the all-time list, 560 catches. One of your old players, Hank, Wes Chandler.
Yeah, and he was a good one.
2nd and 5, and that pass, he let him too much, intended for Pritchard.
He threw it a little bit too quickly that time. He didn't have a chance to set up and threw it on the move, and didn't have any anchor. No footwork on the play at all, and throws it way over the top.
So 33 seconds to go in the first quarter. Miami leading 7-0. Mark Higgs 14-yard dash for a touchdown.
It was a great illustration of how important it is to have your feet in the ground and a good pace and a good foundation. Remember, you can't shoot a cannon out of a canoe.
That's tough to do. I've always thought that.
You tried it, didn't you?
Yeah, right. 3rd and 5. They flood the left side with 3 receivers. Need the 5, and they get it with Risen. And he falls at the 21. 11 yards on that pass play.
Risen on the outside. The defensive back turns to the inside, and he comes back for the ball, makes the catch, and picks up the necessary yardage for the first down. He's a good catcher and an excellent runner along with him.
Miller steals a few extra seconds on the sideline. They will head to the second quarter in position to tie up Miami. 7-0 Dolphins.
A packed house as ever at Arrowhead Stadium, and the Chiefs, with Barry Word injured, surprised everybody by opening up with 5 straight passes. This one from Dave Craig to J.J. Burden. The 12-yarder took them down to the 43. Then it was Dave Craig, the pump fake, going to J.J. Burden again. This time all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. 7-0 Chiefs. And while the Chiefs were imitating the Eagles started imitating the Chiefs. In fact, here's Herschel Walker imitating Randall Cunningham. cutting back, going all the way up for the first down, 15 yards. Here's the man himself, though, Randall Cunningham, on 3rd and long, pulling the ball down, taking it 26 yards for the first down. Not doing so well through the air, though. Here he tries to hang it up for Calvin Williams, but Albert Lewis says thank you very much, and that's the Chiefs' ball. On their second possession, though, the Eagles have begun to get the hang of this passing thing from the Chiefs. There's Clyde Simmons getting a hang of Dave Craig for the sack. No more score, though, in the first quarter. Kansas City 7, Philadelphia nothing.
So a great game so far by the Kansas City Chiefs, and both games surprisingly close. For the second quarters of both, join us after this break.
Get your enthusiasm out there. Let's get tuned up. Play ball, okay? Let's play ball. Get your enthusiasm out there. Let's get tuned up. Play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Welcome back. It was Mark Higgs who gave the Dolphins the early lead, but right now the Falcons are driving downfield. So let's go back to Miami, where the Dolphins lead it 7-0.
Chris Miller has Atlanta on the move as we start the second quarter from Joe Robbie Stadium. Jim Nance and Hank Stram, pleased to be with you today. Dolphins leading 7-0, but Atlanta has it 1st and 10 from the Miami 20. Mark Higgs scored the game's touchdown on a 14-yard run, and the Dolphins now have outscored their opponents 44-3 in the first quarter, so they're off to another good start. First down carry. Jones looking for any kind of hole, and he won't get it. Only 2 yards. Klingbeil.
I'm surprised they're running so much against that defense where they have 6 people against their 5. There's an extra man in there that can't block. They're trying to double block him with blocking one guy, then peeling off and getting the other, but it's not working very well.
2nd and 8. The second snap of the second quarter. Pritchard at the 10. Darts toward the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. What a move by Pritchard. 18-yard touchdown to Mike Pritchard, his 3rd score of the season.
6 defensive backs, a 3-deep zone, and again, I mentioned this earlier, he is a fantastic runner once he makes the reception. He's got a good feel for the open area, good vision, good balance. He's the inside receiver, number 35. Breaks a little bit to the outside and then cuts back to the inside and knows where he has to go, exactly where he has to go. Goes right in there for the touchdown. Now it's 7-6.
So just watching it here with the naked eye, I thought he would be tackled right at about the 10. Brian Cox was rather dazed and just moved right past him in a hurry. So 7-7 as Norm Johnson adds the extra point. We expected an aerial showdown, and we're on our way.
On Miami's next drive, Deion Sanders was called for pass interference. However, the Dolphins didn't benefit from the 47-yard penalty, as 4 plays later, Pete Stoyanovich missed a 49-yard field goal attempt.
Atlanta takes over from the 32.
Look at all the room on the right side again.
And they're looking that way, Hank.
Yeah, you bet.
And a first down at the 43. Let's give him 11 yards on that.
Yeah, really, the way they're playing, especially on early downs, you just play baseball, play catch out there with those outside receivers on the corners. They've been open, and I don't know how many times he's hit the outside receivers in that kind of a situation, but he's been very successful.
That was Haynes with the reception, Hank, and again, he's had shoulder problems this year. He is out. Sanders is in. Deion Sanders is the receiver at the top of the screen. 1st and 10, Atlanta. And they're coming his way.
Screen.
Deion set up with the screen. And Sanders with his first reception of the year to pick up about 10.
That's a tough play to run against 6 defensive backs, but if anybody can succeed, it's a good call for him because he does a good job of acting, goes back to the outside. It's a high percentage kind of a play.
You know, Michael Haynes is back in. He had 2 guys follow him to the bench. That may have been a decoy the whole way.
Oh, sure. I think that
he was drooping the one shoulder that he got injured earlier this year.
I think they dangled the old anchovy out there on that one.
2nd and 1. And only adding to the legend of Deion Sanders and pass reception in this game. First down run by Keith Jones. So Atlanta has it 1st and 10 at the 40. Well, according to that, it's 88 on the field, but we open up the broadcast by saying it was 92.
It felt like it was 102. We were down there before the game.
Of course, it doesn't hurt too much when you got a little cool air blowing on the thermostat. 1st and 10, Atlanta, tied 7-7 with Miami. Pritchard for no gain. Bestie Jackson was never faked out on that one.
Look at all the room on the left side now. Look at this.
2nd and 9. Good scrambling by Miller. And forced out by Oliver.
That time he was looking to throw against 6 defensive backs, and they played man-for-man coverage on that last play.
3rd and 4 coming up for the Falcons. Haynes to the right. He has one-on-one coverage with Vincent at the top. 3 receivers to the left. Toward the end zone. Batted away by Oliver. Louis Oliver, the star last week with 3 interceptions, including the record-tying 103-yard run back. He batted that one away, Hank.
Yeah, it was a bad throw into so many folks. Too many folks in there. Look at all the time he's got to throw the ball. Not much of a pass rush. But look at this. That ball should have been intercepted. It was a little bit short. It was a little bit short.
Drew Hill was the receiver, but 3 defenders in the area. So Louis Oliver. Good couple of weeks for Oliver, but now a field goal try. Atlanta trying to take the lead from 52 yards. Norm Johnson. Good looking kick. Boy, did he easily make that one. A lot of room to spare from 52 yards. You know how long it's been, Hank, since Miami had a 1,000-yard rusher? 1978. Delvin Williams was the last 1,000-yard runner for Miami.
Yeah, I remember him very vividly. He was a terrific back.
Higgs for 4. Higgs actually scared that number last year, got over 900.
Well, Miami on offense 4th. Atlanta defense 28th.
Well, that should mean a lot of points today for Miami based off of that. Dolphins have had it twice. They've driven for a touchdown and missed a field goal try on their other drive. We may not see Joe Prokop today, their punter. That pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Chuck Smith dancing around all juiced after getting a hand on that one.
Smith, number 90. Gets his right hand up just high enough to deflect the ball.
It'll be 3rd and 6. I may have written off Prokop too early. 1 pass incompletion here, and we'll have a punt. 4 wide receivers in for Dan Marino, including Tony Martin and Fred Banks. On the 3rd and 6 pass play, Humphrey holds on for the first down and bounces around past the 40. 19 yards to Bobby Humphrey.
They had everybody on the line of scrimmage in a bump and run situation on the outside. Everybody faded. Look at all the time. steps up into the pocket, ball thrown just perfectly, and he makes the necessary yardage for the first down. Boy, that's a fantastic catch. And a great throw by Marino, the way the coverage was. Very good coverage.
Higgs is back in. Humphrey playing on passing downs. Keith Jackson also in the game. And here's the pass play to Jackson down to the Atlanta 38. Keith Jackson, his 5th catch as a Dolphin.
Jackson has a good awareness as he releases the ball off the ball. Look at this. Look at the big hole there. So he settles in the area and he runs well enough. He's big and strong enough to run after somebody gives him a shot.
We were talking about how it is to catch a pass from Dan Marino, how different it is from Randall Cunningham. It travels much faster than you think. He says, I've been catching the back end of the ball here the first week. But he held on to that one. That was a good pass play. Good pass. Down to the 38. Play action. And incomplete, intended for Duper. Talking about Jackson, though, comparing Randall Cunningham, he described it as a whipping motion. You can see it when Randall's coming to you, but Dan flings it so quickly, you just have no idea how much velocity is on it. It's very deceiving.
When he throws the ball, it looks like it's coming out of a pitching machine. All of a sudden, zip, there it is, you see, and Cunningham has a long delivery, and as a result, you have a longer chance, more time to watch it approach you as you try to catch it.
It's really something. His 2 teams, the Eagles and the Dolphins, are the only 2 unbeatens left in the NFL. It'll be something if we saw them down the line in the Super Bowl this season. 2nd down and 10. Short to Page. He fumbled on the back end of it, and I believe the Falcons scooped it up. Torrey Epps came back to get the recovery, number 74. So the reception to Page, the ball is stripped loose, and that's what Jerry Glanville said we have to have.
Yeah, he said that yesterday. He said we've got to get 3 balls that they look like they're going to catch. We got to knock it loose and recover the fumble, and that's the way we're going to beat this football team tomorrow afternoon. There's one.
The Falcons were unable to capitalize on the turnover and were forced to punt. Dan Marino then marched the Dolphins downfield, but was sacked on a crucial 4th down. So the Falcons hold on to a 10-7 lead at halftime.
Back at Arrowhead Stadium, the Chiefs leading 7-0 in the 2nd quarter, but the Eagles driving and keeping it on the ground with some success. Here's Herschel Walker picking up another 15 yards and an Eagles 1st down. That set up Roger Ruzek perfect on field goals so far this season, making it 7 out of 7 from 49 yards. The Eagles continued to misfire through the air, though. This would have been a 55-yard touchdown pass from Randall Cunningham to Fred Barnett. The wide receiver just failed to make the connection. So, with Herschel doing so well running the ball, the Eagles decided to let him throw it. That decision probably won't let that happen again. In came Ruzek, but having scored from 49 yards, he missed the 39-yarder to end his perfect streak at 7. Things got worse for the Eagles just before half-time. Derek Thomas got through to Randall Cunningham on the Eagles' 5. And after a short punt from Jeff Fiegels, the Chiefs got the ball back with 35 seconds left. And that was all Dave Craig needed, completing 2 passes. This second one to a wide-open J.J. Burden in the end zone. Can't believe there's no one near him. The crowd salutes Dave Craig's 200th career touchdown. With the Chiefs passing and the Eagles running, it's Kansas City 14-3 and a strange one at Arrowhead.
My goodness, the Philadelphia Eagles don't look like the team that beat the Dallas Cowboys earlier this week on Monday night. But the Kansas City Chiefs playing an excellent game. Back in our main game, well, Andre Rison predicted that the Falcons were going to win it. Halfway through it, they're in the lead. To see if Mark Clayton of the Dolphins can change that, join me after this break.
Get your enthusiasm out there! Let's play ball, okay? Let's play ball. Get your enthusiasm out there! Let's play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we get to the second half of 2 fascinating games, let's see what Gary has for us this week.
Well, the big question around the NFL this week is what's up with the Super Bowl champions. Last year, the Washington Redskins dropped only 2 games all season. Yet this year, the same team with the same talent has already lost 2 out of the first 4. And the diagnosis seems to be a case of Super Bowl syndrome. Joe Gibbs should recognise the symptoms too, because he's suffered before. In 1987, the season after his team thrashed Denver in Super Bowl 22, they had a losing record and failed to make the playoffs. The season before, New York Giants fans had seen the same thing happen to their team, falling from world beaters to a record of 6-9. And of course, last year, the Giants suffered a hangover from the big celebration again, finishing up no better than evens. So, 3 out of the last 5 seasons, the best team in football one year has failed to make it to the playoffs the following year. Well, obviously, they don't become bad teams overnight, so what's going on? Well, there are a couple of factors at work. One is that it's hard to reproduce the kind of intensity that carries a team to the Super Bowl, and the other, inevitably, is that players who've sacrificed everything for the team start looking out for themselves. This year, a number of key Redskins players missed pre-season training while they held out for bigger and better contracts. Now, men like tackle Jim Lachey and cornerback Darrell Green are the best paid players in the whole of the league at their positions. But the result on the field is a team that's not quite in the perfect sync that helped it rise above the rest last year.
Touchdown! Darrell Green, the victim. The fumble was between the center-quarterback exchange. A veteran center in Jeff Bostic, a veteran quarterback in Mark Rippon, who's only been in camp for a week.
In fact, Rippon was the longest holdout of all the Redskins, eventually cashing in his Super Bowl success for a contract that makes him the second highest paid player in the league behind Dan Marino. The problem is, he's currently the worst rated quarterback in the NFC.
And again, Rippon hears the boos.
Last week, all the Redskins' mistakes and miscues finally caught up with them. Rippon threw 2 interceptions for touchdowns. The defence gave up an 85-yard drive. The Redskins blew an 18-point lead to the Cardinals, something last year's team would never have done.
Hopefully it's just been a bad dream, but, you know, here it's a situation where I just need to go out and you know, do my job, and let's try to get better.
Hey, we got to try and learn from this. We've been in holes before around here. We've 2-2, and hey, each one of these from here on out is going to be precious. We're going to have to play great. Hopefully we get back at home in front of our fans and, you know, find a way to play 2 real tough teams.
Well, the big test for the Skins will be next week's game against the team being tipped to take their Super Bowl title, the Eagles. Mind you, the Eagles have got to beat the Chiefs first. Right, just time for one other piece of action this week, not from the NFL, but from a college game. This is Idaho State University's kickoff return formation. One man catches the ball, and 5 of his teammates huddle round, and by the time they scatter, it's anybody's guess who has it. So while opposing tacklers burn 1 from 6, the real ball carrier makes his way to the opposing 43-yard line. What a great play, the kind of thing Jerry Glanville might use, I think.
I tell you, he loves it, doesn't he? He loves those special sorts of plays, and right now he would love to have one on the opening kickoff. But so far in this game, it's 10-7, and you'd think it was a defensive game, but surprisingly it really isn't. It's offense killing themselves, and that's really a bit of a surprise, because this really is two teams with 2 of the best receiving corps in the entire league. One thing about Jerry Glanville is that he's had a tremendous amount of success against Don Shula, and he said during the week that if I've got to do one thing, I've got to control their offense, and in the past he's had the success. He beat him down when he was in Houston as the head coach, 39-7. So he knows he can win the game, but now he's got to hold on. And the big thing, I think, is going to be quarterbacks. They have not come alive yet in the game, but they're going to very shortly. And who does the nod go to there? It's got to be Dan Marino over Chris Miller. Dan often, when it's needed, really comes alive. And I think he might be doing that in the second half. So now let's go back to Joe Robbie Stadium, where Dan Marino's problems unfortunately continued with drop passes. And the Falcons got possession for the first time on Miami's 44-yard line with a few minutes gone in the second half.
Now the crowd coming back to life after the goodies at halftime. Best starting field position for Atlanta. Miller all day, it seems, rising inside the 30, and Brown tackles him at the 25.
Notice one thing about both teams when they're throwing the football, the pass rush is not very good at all. Both quarterbacks have had a lot of time to throw the football.
Tell you, Miller keeps getting protection like that to hit on pass plays. It's really paying dividends. He takes his offensive lineman out for dinner every Tuesday night to Chops in Atlanta. Runs up a big bill for those guys up front.
And that's a big league place.
Keith Jones inside the 20 and down to the 17. Chris Hinton with the block on the right side. Jones 9 carries for 41 yards. Hank, today we're not seeing him mix it up at running back. For a long time, Atlanta would shift in with Broussard or Smith or Pegram, but it's been Jones the whole way today.
Well, they like him very much, and I think they expect him to have a great future here. They really do. We've seen spurts of that in the games we've done of the Atlanta Falcons.
They missed all of camp with a knee injury to Jones. Landville said last week he ran hard, he ran over people, he ran heavy. He gave our running game a lift. He's staying with him today. Here's the pass play. Hill at the goal line, and that's going to be interference against Miami. Going against Kerry Glenn. And that'll put the football at the 1.
Five defensive backs the last time, man-for-man coverage. There's the pass interference on the play, Kerry Glenn. Number 35.
Spotted at the 1. 12 minutes to go, third quarter. Atlanta trying to add to its 10-7 lead. Haynes to the right, rising to the left. Jones the single back.
They like to run the option down here sometimes, too, if there's only one guy outside the offensive tackle.
Fumble! Atlanta fumble! And Miami has it. Confusion on the exchange, on the handoff. Miller trying to get it over to Jones. And Griggs with the recovery. Wow.
It looked like Miller thought he was going to hit a little tighter and didn't get the ball out to the ball carrier on the last play.
A 7-point play in essence, and Miami trails by a field goal. First down Miami from its own 2-yard line after the fumble recovery. Marino, another drop pass. They had one right before the intermission. Freddie Banks had one. This time it was Edmonds. That's 3 drops overall. You remember another one in the first half as well.
Here we get a good shot of the fumble. Jones, the halfback, is running into the hole and should hit it a little tighter. I think he saw something on the outside, tried to veer to the outside before he had the ball. And as a result, there was no exchange whatsoever, and the ball wound up being on the grass.
2nd and 10. Farrell Edmonds, 2-time Pro Bowler, on that drop that would have given Miami room out to the 20. But they'll come out flinging again. And it's Page wrestling his way near the first. (10-7) Atlanta with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Duper looked around at the last second. The Kyra was defending.
It's unusual to see so many drop balls by the Miami Dolphins. Look at this. It was thrown, it was thrown a little bit on the wrong side. He was going to his left. The ball hit the right shoulder, it looked like, and fell incomplete.
Second and 10. Keith Jackson in a slot to the left. And Marino slides for a 1-yard gain, so it will not be registered as a sack. Tim Green helped force them out of the pocket.
As fast as Marino throws the ball, you have to rush and put pressure on him in the middle area. He's not disturbed by the outside rush. He doesn't see it. And by the time you get there, the ball's gone. But if you get inside pressure and try to flush him out of the pocket, you got a chance.
3rd and 9 coming up, and the Dolphins hit on their first 4 third down attempts of the day. Now 7 for 10 for the game overall. Humphrey is in on the passing situation. And a timeout called by Atlanta. Atlanta defense burns one with 10:10 to go. 3rd quarter, 10-7 Atlanta. 62-year-old legend Don Shula matching strategies today with Jerry Glanville of the Falcons. 10-7 to score. Early 3rd quarter. 3rd and 9 for Miami. Here comes the blitz. Marino gets it away. Humphrey can't hold on. Would not have had the first anyway. Tuggle had the good defensive play on Humphrey.
See, that's the thing we talked about just a moment ago. If you flush him out of the pocket, you have a distinct advantage because Dan is a fantastic pocket passer, but you have to get him out of that rhythm and out of that drop and flush him out of there with as much as you possibly can.
Crocott to punt to Deion. Keep in mind, the longest return of the season, punt return for Atlanta, is only 4 yards. And they won't get a chance on this one. Fair catch call. Sanders has it at his own 49. 38 yards on that punt. Again, excellent starting position for Atlanta on this series. They fumbled at the 1 just moments ago. 1st and 10, and Miller gets the short one to Drew Hill. Only 3 yards. Drew Hill just moved past your Wes Chandler in the 13th place on the all-time reception list.
Well, Drew has really had a remarkable career because of the great job that he did for such a long time with the Rams, and then he goes to Houston. Now he's here. He's been a very steady, dependable receiver.
2nd and 8. Miller firing. Haynes at the 40. And that's a 1st down for Atlanta inside of the 40. They worked on Troy Vincent that time.
5 defensive backs, man-for-man coverage on the last pattern.
This is a Miami defense that a year ago ranked 25th in the National Football League. But they had 2 picks, 2 of the first 12 picks in the NFL draft. And those 2 rookies are in there now. Troy Vincent, you've seen him, number 23. They've also brought in now Bruce Alexander. And the other 1st rounder was Marco Coleman. They've helped shore up Miami's D in the first 4. Miller on 1st down to Rising. Steps out near the 30. The story of this quarter, Hank, is that Atlanta's been on Miami's side of the field the whole quarter, but they have not scored yet. They had that first series and the costly turnover down at the 1.
Yeah, the field position has definitely been in favor of the Falcons. And again, as you look at this thing from up here, why consistently you see both quarterbacks having a lot of time to throw.
Haynes and Hill to the right, along with Phillips, who now comes in. 3 receivers to the right. Rising to the left. 2nd down and 2, and they run it for the 1st down. Good carry. First one of the day by Steve Broussard. First down from the 22. Miller to Rising. What a catch. What a catch. Touchdown, Atlanta.
And you can't cover a receiver any better than that. Really, Jim, it looked like he had the thing faded. And Rison sucks it right out of the air.
Rison with his 6th touchdown in the last 3 games.
Yeah, he's the outside receiver. Look at him. He goes in and back out to the corner. Boy, that's an amazing catch. Great concentration. And J.B. Brown was covering on the play.
Now with 7 catches today for 101 yards and the touchdown. It's the 11th time in his career he's gone over 100 yards in receptions. That was a remarkable catch and a brilliant move to get the 2nd foot down in the corner of the end zone. Extra point is added by Norm Johnson, so a 10-point lead for the visiting Falcons, who are looking for their first road win of the year. They're 0-2 coming in.
Marino continued to have problems connecting with his receivers, and Atlanta quickly got the ball back. They have a 1st and 10 on their own 21 with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Broussard seeing action in the 2nd half. He's the solo back. Dump it off to Hill, out to the 24.
Miller passing on 1st down. He's 13 of 15 now. Boy, he's got a hot hand on 1st and 10.
Broussard takes outside, tries to cut back inside. And a whole bunch of Dolphins there for the tackle, including Coleman and Alexander and Alfred Oglesby from Houston. Trying to stir it up here at home and get this crowd back into the game.
Broussard tried to go inside and then outside and then back inside, and that's when you get in trouble. You got to make a decision, right or wrong, and go with it and do the best you can.
3rd and 7. Where's the room out there on this play, Hank? What do you see?
The middle. The way they're playing right now, the middle should be open.
Hey, right side, intercepted. It's intercepted by Vesti Jackson, and touchdown, Miami.
The middle was open. Boy, they got him back in the game in a hurry. Man-for-man coverage was too deep.
Vesti Jackson, 30-yard return. And Stoyanovich makes it a 3-point game. 17-14 Atlanta on the interception run back by Vesti Jackson.
Into the 3rd quarter at Arrowhead, and with the Chiefs ahead 14-3, the Eagles started to get desperate. On their opening drive of the half, Randall Cunningham decided to go for it on 4th down. His quarterback draw was good for 2 yards on the 1st down. 2 plays later, though, Derek Thomas got through to Cunningham for the Chiefs' 6th quarterback sack of the day. Then Kansas City special teams came up with the big play, blocking Roger Ruzek's 43-yard field goal attempt. Now, who would have thought Dave Craig would be outshining Randall Cunningham in this game? But here he is working the play fake and hitting Willie Davis, who takes it all the way, 74 yards for the touchdown, 21-3 Chiefs. The Eagles in dire straits now, going for it on 4th down. This time, Herschel Walker, who's had a good game on the ground, failing to pick up the necessary 1 yard. And the quarter ended with KC threatening to go further ahead. Craig to Willie Davis again, who takes it down to the Eagles 4. 21-3 Chiefs, and the Eagles' unbeaten record in jeopardy.
And the surprise there, it looks like it's the Eagles' defense that's having problems, but you can't take it away from the Kansas City Chiefs. Back in our main game, the Atlanta Falcons offense is having their problems. First, the fumble on the 1-yard line, and then the interception by Vesti Jackson for a touchdown. That could really cause problems going to the 4th quarter. But the Falcons' defense has not allowed a touchdown in the 4th quarter so far this year. But then you look to the other side of the field, and Dan Marino, he's had 20 come-from-behind victories in the 4th quarter. Can he make it 21? Join me after this break to find out.
Get some enthusiasm out there. Let's get tuned up. Okay, Let's play ball.
So for the second week running, the Miami Dolphins defense come up with a touchdown. A big, big play for Don Shula and his team. But Pete Stoyanovich missed his second field goal attempt of the game on Miami's first drive of the fourth quarter. This one from 50 yards. We rejoin the action with 8.5 minutes remaining, and the Dolphins again in possession.
Oh, Humphrey, drop pass. 7th drop ball by the Dolphins. Don Shula, his team has not gone to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. 2nd down and 10 for the Dolphins, trailing by 3, trying to stay undefeated from their 38. Long pass, wide open. Martin has it at the 20 and down at the 15. Tony Martin, 46 yards.
Outside receiver, McKyer is out there, I think. Yeah, and there's a 3-deep zone. But of course, once you get into the guy's area, why, it becomes man for man.